Coach Fangio just spoke in his press conference about believing that we have one of the best NFL locker rooms in terms of community service. And while I come from a biased position, I don't think that I could agree more. We are very fortunate at the Broncos to have support from ownership all the way down for improving lives in our community. Our locker room has dedicated, as of Tuesday night, more than 1,700 hours of service and nearly 800 individual player appearances that are voluntary to give back to the Denver metro area. While we have incredible players in our locker room, there is no one more deserving than the 2019 Walter Payton Man of the Year award than Justin Simmons. Justin is a staple, as you all know, at every single team event and teammate event throughout the year. No event is too big, no event is too small, and the relationships that he has built with individuals in this community are unmatched by any player. No player has dedicated more time and resources in this community in a 4-year span than Justin. So with that, he's already been presented the award, but we would like to, on behalf of the entire organization, Joe Ellis, John Elway, Coach Fangio, and the Community Development Department, congratulate Justin as our Walter Payton Man of the Year.
Thank you.
Your photo up.
Do I just take a photo now?
Justin, what does it mean to get this award?
I don't know if you guys had if you guys saw the video that the Broncos posted on kind of like the unveiling of it, but you could tell by my reaction towards the end that I was like in complete shock, and that was genuine. Like I had no idea that I was even even close to being able to be considered, Walter Payton Man of the Year. I thought you had to do all this different stuff. And so, so many guys that are deserving on this team that go to so many different events and, give so much of their time to the community and, charities and organizations. And so to be recognized as one of those guys and be a representative for the Broncos is truly, a humbling and really humbling experience for me.
It's happened so organically for you. Every event we see you at, what is it about that makes you want to go? And a lot of guys just, you have time, you have other stuff to do. What makes you get involved? Where's that come from?
Yeah, honestly, it's how I was raised. When I was a young kid, my parents always used to talk to me about giving back, and one of the best gifts you can give to someone else is your time, and things of that nature. My relationship with Jesus Christ, and and everything that comes with that. Just having that. True, genuine spirit to just be there for someone, give them their time. And I think in a community like this, too, where everyone here loves their Broncos. And so you give a little bit of your time, shake some hands, sign some autographs. I mean, that goes a long way. And not even, just for a benefit for me, just a long way for them. And even for the kids, for our youth and growing up and making them feel empowered and making them feel like they're, bigger than what the world may tell them they are, because they are. And, they're the future of this world. And so it's important to invest into them like that.
Justin, I'm talking to you about you starting your own foundation. You didn't want to just jump into it. Now 4 years in, you're going to have $50,000 that you can donate. Would you use that to maybe kickstart the foundation?
We talked about it, my wife and I did, but we're going to actually use the $50K towards IJM, International Justice Mission, and I can go more in depth with that. I'm sure there's other questions, but I can go more in depth with that. But we talked about it a little bit, and yeah, we wanted to do the foundation stuff, and we wanted to make sure we were doing it right. We were kind of established. We had all the right people kind of behind the scenes, and honestly, like going to all my different teammates' events, seeing things that I liked, didn't like, wanted to do differently, things in that nature to kind of, help kind of move my foundation along. And so we're in the works of that, and hopefully we'll be able to launch that, this off season before the next year starts.
Chris and Vaughn have both won this award since you've been here. What's it like to join those guys?
Oh, it's huge. Just this morning, we had a presentation of, community ambassadors and all these different events. And then obviously the Walter Payton Man of the Year award was announced, and Allie announced, all the previous winners. And Vaughn, Chris. We have another teammate, Jerry, who, was a nominee, I think, for the Chargers. And then, obviously, John won it here, the national award. And so, you're in class with those types of guys. I mean, those are high character guys who also, are really good at what they do football-wise. And so it's, like I said, man, it's an honor and really humbling experience.
What was it like to see Kareem have the opening he did last week?
Man, I was so excited for him. I think the coolest thing for me, though, was like kind of getting a front row seat to it. Not necessarily like a spectator, but, I was out there, in the trenches with him, and he was just, he was locked in. A lot of the times, during the game, we'll have moments on the sideline where we're kind of talking and, hanging out almost a little bit. But, that game, he was locked in. From the sideline, coming out, coaching the D-line, coaching the linebackers, coaching the secondary, saying, stay on him, and, he was just in a whole nother zone. And, you could tell through his play. Every single series, it's like he made a big play for us. So it was great.
Did you see the Hopkins hit live, or did you look up and see it?
Yeah, I saw it live. We were in a basically a zone coverage, and when the ball, when Watson rolled out and he was getting ready to scramble and maybe even run, he saw what he thought Hopkins was open, and Kareem baited him really well, and he threw it right to him, and that hit. And I turned around just as I saw it. So like I was flipping my hips to go, run for the ball, and I saw the hit live, and I heard Steve stood out of his seat. I think I might have heard him, honestly. That was just so loud. But yeah, that hit was crazy. It was awesome. Nice clean hit.
Travis Kelce, where would you put him among NFL tight ends, and what's the key to a little bit this week?
Yeah. Kelce, I think he's the best tight end. And I don't think that's taken away from any other guys in the league. I think, Zach Ertz and, maybe a couple other guys, they're always consistently up there, 1, 2, and 3. The margin is probably like super small, but playing Kelce twice a year, game planning against him twice a year, I feel like, he's the best at what he does. And, he's a really crafty guy. He just gets his job done at a high level week in and week out. It's just a guy that you game plan for every week. And then, all the weapons that they have on their offensive side of the ball, they still find a way to get him the big plays and to get him involved and to make sure, he's a guy you're worried about on the defensive side of the ball. And so it's a great test for us this week. I thought we played well last week. Still some things we can improve on, but it's going to be a great test for us. Mahomes back there, and then having all the threats that they have, we're going to have to be on top of it this week defensively.
Justin, going off the board a little bit, what kind of coach is CSU getting with Steve Adazio?
They're getting a coach that, is going to coach them hard and love them hard. That's one of the main things I remember when I was there at BC. He pushed you to your utmost limits, but, loved you hard, while you were around at that facility and things like that. So it'll be cool for CSU. I don't know much about the Rams in terms of how they've been doing and things in that nature, but I know at BC, we weren't doing well. We brought him in, and he definitely helped, raise the program, back to better than what it was. And so I think he's the right man for the job.